Welcome everyone to episode 4 of Banda Inku's Arcadia Quest painting series. Today we'll be painting the sword throwing hero, Johan. To start off, we're gonna grab our black primer and prime him up. Next we're gonna grab our dead white and undercoat his hair, face, and cape. For our first base coat, we're going to grab our magic blue and base coat the cape, followed up by some Drakenhof Nightshade to add some shadows. Now I would show you base coating the cape, but I accidentally deleted the footage, so here we're just jumping to where I'm using the Drakenhof Nightshade. In applying this shade, we're going to need a couple different coats, especially in the deeper recesses of the cape, to really create some nice contrast. Next we're going to grab our lamp black and undercoat all the armor pieces. With the armor undercoated, it's ready to coat in some Chainmail Silver. Next we're going to mix together some Nuln Oil and Glaze Medium and wash down the armor. Once that wash is dry, we're going to pick out some of the details in the armor and coat them in gunmetal blue, which will tie in nicely with Johan's cape and give his armor a little more character. Next we're going to highlight that blue metal by mixing together some gunmetal blue and some silver. Next we're going to continue highlighting by returning to our Chainmail Silver and highlighting the rest of the armor. During this step, I noticed that I missed some spots with the gunmetal blue, so I painted and highlighted those areas just like we did before. Next we're grabbing our gold and coating the armor on the knees, the elbows, and the handle of the sword. We'll also paint the trim of the armor in between the different armor plates. Then we'll grab our Seraphim Sepia and shade all the areas that we just painted gold. Next we're going to shade the silver parts of the armor using some Nuln Oil. We're going to especially focus this shade towards the lower parts of the armor and on the bottom part of the sword to create a nice contrast with the highlights we did in the previous steps. Now that the armor is complete, we're going to return to our cape and do some highlighting using Magic Blue. For Johan's skin, we're going to combine some Sunny Skintone and some Bonewhite. Then we'll highlight the skin using Pale Flesh. Moving on to the eyes, we're going to go back to our Magic Blue. Next we're going to grab our trusty micron pen and draw in his pupils. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I really like micron pens because of the ability to create fine details, and they're also really easy to clean up if you happen to make a mistake. And for the final part of the eye, we're going to go back to our dead white and fix any problems that we might have made with the previous two steps, as well as add a little dot in the upper left corner of each eye to add a little light reflection and make the eye really pop. Moving on to the hair, we're going to try something a little different. Instead of using yellow ink like we have in the past, we're going to grab our deep yellow and use that to base coat the hair. This will help provide some variation between the different blonde members of the Arcadia Quest crew. Next we're going to grab our Casandora Yellow and use that to wash down the hair. While we wait for that wash to dry, we're going to grab our Bonewhite and paint his hair tie. Then we'll grab our Seraphim Sepia and give that hair tie a wash. Next we're going to mix together some Nuln Yellow and Dead White and start doing some highlights on the hair, picking out those fine details and doing a little bit of highlighting around the rim of his head. Next we'll grab our Dead White and continue highlighting, focusing on the middle of the areas that we just painted. Now that we've finished the hair, we're going to grab our micron pen and give him some manly eyelashes. Next we're going to make a Nuln Oil wash and wash down the teeth. And finally, we'll grab our Dead White and clean up the teeth. And with that, Johan the sword throwing hero is now complete. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, and we'll see you on the next one. Johan, complete! Banda out!